Welcome back to Wormhole Extremists. My name is David Reed. Of course, I'm with Nicole Rodriguez-Galdo.
Hello.
And Yvonne Cahill.
Hello, that is me.
And this is Emancipation. This is our first dedicated off-world episode. I love episodes like this that are, I do like seeing, SGC and checking in with Don S. Davis and everything. But, I also like these episodes that are completely away from home.
The early days was filled with this stuff, and I love it.
Yep.
I feel like the on-base stuff early on was not as intriguing, but then as time went on, they managed to make the on-base plot really cool as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely used to look forward to the off-world episodes a little bit more.
Now that I'm older, I'm the opposite. I appreciate the on-base ones a bit more.
There are some good ones in there.
Yeah.
German Shepherds.
Now, prop-wise, didn't they just reunite this actor with that hat?
I think so. Yes, I think that is correct. There was, yes, the Empire Movie Props has the hat, and yes, there was a recent time where, yes, I'm trying to think of the actor's name. It's not Carrie, is it? No, I think Carrie's the. Oh, come on, help me out here, guys. Get the Gate World page open, for the love of Pete. And yeah, they showed it to him. So thank you.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
The people of the steppe.
Abu is George.
Okay.
I think, is that him? Yeah.
What's the last name?
I'm just trying to look it up as well.
Vargas?
I think that could be. This is Abu.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
George Vargas.
Yeah. So yes, he.
Carrie is Turgon.
Turgon, that's it.
The other guy.
Yes, and he's
the bad guy.
I loved him in The Man of the High Castle.
Yes, yeah, he's an incredible actor. His intensity in this is like almost frightening.
Yep.
I did like this episode because I think that as a 5-year-old female, I did not realize how much potential sexism there was in the world, and I didn't understand racism either.
Here's the thing: historically, if you're going to transplant cultures from across Earth into other cultures, sooner or later you're going to come across Mongolian society or a transplanted Saudi Arabian society who would have an issue with Carter on the team. So sooner or later they had to do an episode like this, and we might as well get it early on.
That's true.
They can also, if there are any issues with it, it's like, we made early mistakes that we didn't make again later. So
well, if you're going to do a series that has cultures from around the world, you have to acknowledge that not all cultures treat women equally, even to this day. Even to this day, like I said, in Saudi Arabia, women can't drive. So,
yeah,
there's just, you have to at some point acknowledge that, in my opinion, if you're going to truly represent Earth's cultures across the.
That's one way of looking at it for sure.
I like the fact that when I grew up, when I was growing up, I literally looked at someone. Well, there's a problem with me being a woman in this society. What?
Right.
And then I learned that it's also, a problem in our culture, depending on who you talk to, because some people are just sexist.
Right.
Exactly. And it's not just cultural to like one culture. It's all over the place.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
It's really
I think it would be you could make the argument that, that's not the kind of series that we wanted to portray. And you could as well, but having said that, your what's the word? The things that you come up against in your Stargate travels, they have to come from somewhere. So
yeah.
The fact that they had dedicated basically one episode to it is fine by me, because now it's out of the way. Now we've had an episode.
Well, I was just going to say, Catherine was saying in your interview with her, David, that her I guess what she was trying to achieve in this was to write Carter as a soldier and a woman.
Correct.
So I think just kind of bear that in mind.
And Amanda Tapping had those conversations, with the writing staff early this season. It wasn't just this episode. She was saying, write me just as a good character, and by virtue of me being a woman, those traits will come through when
that's
they're
it. I think
doing
this
the
is
material.
almost them trying too hard in one direction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas, a woman is multifaceted, but this is sort of leaning way too hard into the feminine versus the masculine, and
Yeah.
it kind of
At
goes
this
too
time
hard
growing up,
in the wrong direction.
it was very much a time when like I saw so many. I watched a lot of boys TV, I'm gonna call it that, with my dad and my uncle, because they were very much into that kind of thing. And when I saw this episode, it was the first time I'd seen like, a woman really come in and kick butt.
Yeah.
In like ever. And so I really did like love Sam, and I loved this episode because it made me realize how awesome and powerful women can be, and like, equality, even though like, this episode is sexism.
Yeah, I saw this episode as someone in their sort of mid-20s, and I remember turning to Adam and going, is every episode going to be like this? Where there's like...
No.
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
When you were just starting.
Yeah, when I was just starting, I was like, oh, this is not giving me a great vibe. But he's like, no, it's not going to be like this all the time. And I was like, okay, good.
It's really funny
give it another chance.
I really enjoyed this episode.
I don't hate it. Like, honestly, when I do rewatches, I don't skip it. There's other episodes that
there are ones I will skip.
Yeah, I don't enjoy more than this one. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is that a llama or an alpaca, by the way?
I don't know the difference.
Don't know the difference.
I don't know how to tell. And I have friends who have both.
I want to give it a stroke. It's cute. They like get spitty though, don't they? Cute.
Camels. Watch out, they spit.
Yeah.
I think llamas may as well.
Well, there she goes. Quickly get her inside, hide her, shield everyone's eyes from the woman.
Raj is indicating here, if we knew what time zone they're at, we can at least get ours near enough to where they're watching it. So I have a timer on the screen there in terms of where the episode is, so that you can watch with us. Obviously, there's going to be a delay, in real time, because there's like 10 to 20 seconds where we're talking, where it translates through the software.
And if you're watching UK, your DVD will be a little bit faster than the one we're watching, which is the American edition.
Well, that's why I wanted to give the minutes and seconds total at the beginning of this, so that you can try and find that version out there.
Yeah.
Because most of the streaming services now have the non-PAL version.
Yeah, thank God. Can I say, I love his dad so much. He is such a charming, nice older man.
Once he decides not to kill Carter.
Yes. Well, he didn't want to. He's saying now, he's like,
it's the law. Yeah, he's talking
law.
An
excuse.
Yeah, and then he did. It's like, oh yeah, he saved your life. Okay, but we're good.
He seems to have some reasonably progressive views, but
his voice is very.
It's a little bit harder to implement them.
Yeah. I love the way he talks. I like the way he holds himself. When he talks, I feel really relaxed.
Yeah.
You sampled some, Jack.
I was listening to Brad Wright's interview with Amanda Tapping, like the podcast, and he apologized for this episode, and he said like he was sorry for making Amanda wear that, quote, bloody outfit.
I love that outfit.
Dress. I think it's beautiful.
I think it's beautiful.
I think it brings out the colors in her eyes.
For sure. The blue goes so well.
Like I said, it does go a little too far in the feminine direction.
Well, yeah.
It's the one time we really see her like dressing up until like, season 7.
Yeah, right.
It's nice to see.
Chimera, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she, like Amanda said, she hated the dress, but she loved the fight.
Did.
She loved the fight scene. That was like a takeaway.
I will say it is annoying that like the rest of SG-1 never really ever has to dress up. Just Sam's forced to this one time.
Not in all those layers of clothing. Like that would have been pretty heavy.
I will say, I think there are definite moments in the show for every single character where they kind of made like little minor errors toward their stories. Like little things that the characters had to do that we weren't all comfortable with. Like Broken Divide is going to be, not Broken Divide, sorry. Oh no, Broken Divide is going to be something. But Brief Candle's going to be a bit of a ooh for me. Oh my God, this scene. This scene when they're all just like
The
They're all
boys
just
are
shook.
They're all just
struck,
like
yeah.
gawking.
Because she
Yeah.
never dresses like this.
Correct.
They're like, oh wow,
No.
she's really pretty.
Yep.
We didn't really
She's a
realize
pretty
how
woman.
pretty she
RTA at the
was.
back.
Yeah, Jack wants to say something. He's like, oh, shut my mouth.
Yes, that's the only
Even
measure of a woman
Teal'c's
is her beauty.
Face. Yeah, see that? I watched that and
Look
I
at
was
Daniel.
like, Daniel's the most shook, and then Teal'c just also losing is great.
I hate how she spins.
Yeah, well.
Like the
I am
spin
not
is
wearing this,
really
everybody.
awkward. It's so awkward.
Yeah, the spin. Well, I like it because she hates it. She hates it.
I think at this point they were still trying to
no.
work out who Sam
It
was
kind
as
of
a
works for
character.
him. My shipper heart is flowing.
Yeah, it's you.
Look at you
It's
guys.
you.
Teal'c's like, what are you guys talking about? Shut up.
If I had a friend who was in this and she didn't want to be in it, I would be reacting this way too. I would be playing it for all it's worth because this is like a once in a lifetime thing, and
Yeah,
she'll never be
that-
in it again.
It's collectively a compliment and a roast of her.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you're wearing this. I'm going to enjoy this moment. This is
And you're the
great.
one girl, and this is the one moment that we can make fun of you for being a woman in a good camaraderie way.
Well, yeah. This is historic.
It's friendly. Like all my friends that I play video games with are dudes, so they always roast me for being a woman. Like if I make a mistake, they're like, "Oh, get back in the kitchen." And I'm like, "Ha ha, yes, very funny." You
Wow.
know?
Oh, that's funny.
Wow.
It's brutal, but they don't mean it, obviously.
It's
Totally-
it's
totally off
signs
topic.
of endearment.
Yeah. For my year 12 formal, or ball as we call it over here, I had
Did
my
you wear
dress
that?
made and it looked very similar to that.
Oh, Evie, we need
Because at the
pictures.
time, Ever After had just come out, like the movie, and
Oh
I
my
was
goodness.
obsessed with it.
I wish you watched Stargate and dressed exactly like that. I would have been
Yeah.
like, damn, Evie. I would have been like, I would have, gone back in time as a child, gone back in there and been like, damn girl, dressed up as SG-1.
I was the only person wearing like, medieval
I respect that.
inspired ball gown.
That's amazing.
If all things are equal, I really wish that we had experienced more world cultures
Yes.
in Stargate, in a similar fashion to this.
That's true.
I feel like as an apology for the rest of SG-1, they never dressed Sam up in anything really nice. And then I love when Claudia Black came in with like 20 outfit changes, an episode.
Yeah.
Amanda was like, okay, guys.
She's not
that's why they gave
military.
her-
Yeah.
They gave her a nice outfit in season 10, the dress that she got to wear. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's
Correct.
nice.
Well,
But
we
I
never
found
really
it
got to
funny.
see her outside of the base.
No,
So-
I'm glad they brought
Not
another girl
really.
in to bring that out in her again. Because obviously, when you're in a boys' club and you're all dressing as dudes, it's kind of awkward to be a bit overtly feminine because it's like,
Yeah.
I want to fit in,
Mm.
you know?
You know what I don't like? That she was so easily overpowered by what is a reasonably scrawny boy.
Oh, it was two other people, I think, as well.
Like I know she was asleep, but like she'd be trained.
There was like three dudes holding her down.
I'm
thought.
pretty sure he didn't do it by himself.
No,
You don't
they,
think so?
No,
No.
later on, the dad says that they had other people. He had other people help him,
Yeah.
and they've been like
Right.
scolded. Because I also wondered the same as a kid in
But like,
Rebound.
it's just the two of them here. Couldn't she do something?
But I think also
She's tied down.
Yeah, I feel like she's also trying to like bargain with him instead of resorting to violence immediately, even though it kind of all went to hell immediately. So
Jed Ted, the dress does bring out her eyes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
calm down, Jack. My
No,
goodness.
you have
Get your
to-
military words in. Fresh hoof prints. Those damn fresh hoof prints. We better follow them.
I don't know how true it is, but apparently Teal'c only has like 10 lines in this.
It doesn't
Around
say
even
much
less than
like
10 lines
at all.
Yeah.
Just his eyebrows kind of go every now and again, and that's it.
It's all about the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Christopher really enjoyed not having a lot of dialogue, and then by like season
Well, a lot of-
9,
I've seen like a lot of people on social media though say that it was like a racist thing. And I'm like,
Oh my
no,
goodness.
What?
I don't
No.
think so. I don't think so.
That's just a character thing. He's just struggling to like, fit in.
He doesn't speak. What he says, like he says in Torment of Tantalus, he speaks when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he's the muscle.
Yeah, I feel like also
black.
they've got Earth banter and they make Earth
correct.
jokes and references.
He's
he doesn't
not
going to
take part in that.
Makes a good Star Wars reference in season 9 to Vala.
Right. Star Wars.
And that's great. I love Vala and him because they're the aliens together and they're super cute.
Yeah.
I think Teal'c is completely, well within his right to be quiet when he wants to be quiet,
And as the show goes on, he speaks more because he's assimilating.
Exactly. I think that's really important. And it's really beautiful to see the progression.
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I love the comparison with the other group. I don't know what to call them. That's it. They I didn't know what word to look for.
Actor.
Oh, he's amazing, isn't he?
He's terrific.
The other guys are all colorful, while these guys are really
his intensity
dark.
is just like, he just got this like menacing vibe. Just
seen him in a few different things, mainly Men in the High Castle.
Yes, he is excellent.
He was in a Mortal Kombat movie they did in like the early 2000s.
Oh yeah?
Oh really?
Okay.
Yeah. He played one of the characters. I don't remember which one, sadly.
So, slightly odd question. When Ra, took people from Earth and took them to these different planets, did he also take the livestock?
Yes.
Or was the livestock already on the planet?
Well, he wanted that. I mean, they would have to continue to feed and manage themselves as well.
Yeah, I guess.
So
no.
themselves.
Here's the thing: Ra's ship was actually Noah's Ark. That's where the story comes from.
Right. Because I saw someone like make an argument on Reddit that some of the livestock that you see in the background in this episode weren't actually discovered at the time that Ra would have taken these people to this planet.
Well,
but I mean that's like taking it to the extreme, like detail wise.
As the series goes on, it's quite clear that it was more than just Ra taking, doing bus service to Earth. I mean, the Golds had basically carved out all the different parts of Earth and for their own domains and taken them to their own territories. So
you've got a lot of recent gods as well who like did it pretty
yeah.
The set's even still there,
Yep. I mean, like the when we come across the medieval Christian planet,
Oh my goodness, I loved that planet.
That was 1,000 years ago. So
yeah.
Like Dark Ages. I didn't like that episode very much, but I liked that it finally took a stab at Christianity. Because Christianity has had like a huge impact on history, but it's more boring because it's still so prevalent today. So it's not as fun to learn about and see the culture. Because it's not the same as it is now, but we learn a lot about it. Like for me in school, being English, we learned a lot about that period.
Yeah.
So I was always like, I can't wait to see all these other cultures I don't know about.
Well, that's the cool thing about this kind of show. You see a culture, it's like, well, let me Google this. Let's get more information. It encourages further learning.
It does. It was really good. Honestly, it's a great show to
give
to
in
kids.
Her eyes.
Yeah. Okay, so this girl, right?
It's the Kess of Star Trek.
Is she white?
I don't
know.
So my friend is white, but she is like she's very, very heavily white because her mum's genes took over. But she is like Asian.
Interesting.
But you can't see it. And I always wondered about the choice of an actress for this because I feel like if you look at her parents, she looks nothing like either of her parents. And I was always like, did they choose her because of her acting? Or because she, is she actually Asian and we just can't tell? I don't know.
Because they show her mother, don't they, later on?
Yeah, and she looks nothing like either of her parents.
Yeah.
Crystal Lowe played Naya.
That's the thing from TV shows that I've always noticed as well, though. It's like they'll often cast characters of other ethnicities, but they'll choose the wrong ethnicity to represent it.
Yeah.
Like they'll get Egyptian people, but they'll take a bunch of Latinos close
Well, I
enough
think
is what they
they've
say.
done that in this episode as well.
That's what I'm wondering that they've done, because
Yeah.
They
a lot
are
of,
subject to the pool of talent in Vancouver.
exactly.
And in
That's
the
why I
90s
wonder.
was not big.
No, that's why I'm wondering.
And it's enormous now by comparison, but in the 90s it was a very small town.
Ooh, just give her a slap.
Yep.
I think that's also like another touchy thing for people watching this, because I like, if you're from that kind of not that culture specifically, but you want to see kind of representation of different Asian cultures, and seeing like a white person come in to play an Asian, if they're not actually of that background, it can be seen as offensive to some people. So I wonder if that's an issue that somebody had with this episode.
Well, I was as I mentioned earlier, I was on Reddit, and I was reading some comments about this episode from a person who was of Mongolian descent. And he actually said that he thinks that this episode does a pretty poor job of representing the Mongol Empire, which generally granted women more rights than many other societies at the time. He said that women could actually own property and was sometimes elevated to positions of power. We don't really get that impression in this episode.
No,
I wouldn't
true
consider this as like this. We have to be careful with these episodes. Like, what is presented here is a true and complete review of this society. It's like, no, these are the elements that were taken to work with this story.
Yeah. Also, like, you got to think about, they're from that branch of humanity, but they've like moved to another place and changed.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So that's another thing as well.
We're not. Yeah, we didn't just drop them down and then they continued their society exactly the same. They've evolved for however many eons that they've been, or at the very least, 1,000 years, 2,000 years that they've been on this world.
They also reference that the old ways were different, and that like some of the old ways, I think they actually mentioned that women have certain rights that they don't anymore, and it's like some fear, some ancient fears come back around that
not every progression is upward.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
It's, it's kind of like how our world is at the moment. You can't just assume
that. Yeah.
There's a whole cycle of going back and forth. This was really cute. I really liked this. This was nice. It's such a sweet little love story, And as a romantic,
it's
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. How do you think they met?
If
they're
I
from
like
like
to think
two warring tribes.
That she was on a walk and he was riding his horse, and then they just kind of bumped into each other. But I feel like she didn't have the same freedom. Well, I'm hoping she did.
You think these two tribes never traded? I would suspect that they did at some
point.
Yeah.
Maybe they
would
had
have been over there doing that.
Maybe they haven't always been warring.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a nice like feast with the other tribes to kind of talk about negotiations, and they just bumped into each other. Oh, Sam here is so funny.
If she was the daughter of the tribesman, the tribal leader, she would have a little bit more slack than some of the other girls would, and she probably would slip away every now and then, I would think.
Yeah.
Sam's sass.
So she can't cook, but she can make a souffle, apparently.
I'm sure she really
That's not easy to do.
Souffles are so hard.
I actually, you know what? I can't cook, but I can do baked goods and desserts.
Souffles are tricky though, because like there's no rising agent. You literally just have to be really delicate with the egg whites.
Yeah. Oh, 22 tribes. Ooh. Better than what you plan to do to her later, mate. Yes, do that.
Very likely.
Let's do that. I'd take that over the alternative.
I wonder how heavy that headpiece was.
I know.
I think the dress would have been quite heavy. Just thinking about my my.
You certainly can't make macaroons. From way back. Thank you, Jane Deanna.
the baker in me is like macaroons or macarons because they're two different.
Two different things. Yeah, she was
Mitchell's
making
and
macaroons.
macaroons.
Yes.
Yeah. Macarons are a nightmare in their own right.
Mhm.
Yes, I taught myself how to make them. It took a long time.
I made them the first time perfectly by accident, and I haven't been
Then
able
you
to
can't
replicate it since.
it.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's funny. I love that she's trying these tasks. She's trying to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't
It
want to
looked
be
like a pretty
hung upside
dull
down.
knife she was having to work with too.
I like how they haven't changed her outfit. She's like this glowing beacon of hope in the middle of all these ladies. She's so bright. I love that her punishment after this is to get some nasty, bland colors later. Oh, look at her. She thinks she's so good.
She'd cover her face, but you can tell who she is just by what she's wearing.
Did Amanda Tapping know how to wear? You got a good point. Did Amanda? No, they probably did it. Okay, so I was going to ask. Did she know how to ride a horse? They probably did it so that they could hide the stunt.
They could
double.
hire it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah, they wouldn't have allowed Amanda to pull that off.
Yeah, they
think
would have
so,
been
no.
like
It's going
stunt
too
double.
fast.
Just if we could have her cover her face, that's really convenient. God, that poor outfit
Cue Amanda.
covered in mud. Gosh, she's so angry and assertive. I would be.
The awesome kind.
So Lyra says, that's not Lyra. What's her name?
Who what?
Lyra's the one from the Knots. The woman. Naya, that's it. Their names are like so similar. So she says that this is her mother because she saves her mother from punishment.
Yes.
So that is her mum.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And
She's
Naya has
pregnant
like,
as well. Is she pregnant?
I don't know. I hope
Sure
she's
looked
not
like
because
No,
you don't
I
want to
think
get
she
whipped
was.
while pregnant. If she's pregnant, it makes sense because this guy's probably trying to make as many kids as possible so you can find ways to trade them off to make alliances.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I hate this. It's gross.
Oh, the kiss. The kiss is so
Blech.
awkward. Yeah, it's so uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable. I will say he's a
You're
handsome
certainly not
man.
supposed to enjoy it.
Disgusting
No.
personality. When I was younger, I used to have a crush on a boo. He was cute. He was cute. I remember I first saw that
really?
guy and I thought, I saw that guy and I thought, oh, he's kind of a snack. And then I saw a nasty
kind
and I
of a
went, never
snack.
mind, never mind.
Is it because he was like maybe the closest to you age-wise?
Yeah, maybe the him being young and I guess only like 15 years older than me. Child me
Yeah.
thought I had a chance. I definitely looked at Michael Shanks and went, oh, if only.
Yeah.
Oh. So this is like, I remember when I was a kid and I saw this and I thought, oh man, like she's so stupid, like your dad's awful. But like, family is really hard to lose, and no matter what they do, you love them.
Of course.
You know? And
Mm.
it's
You
like I
also
really
hate them.
understand her.
At the same time.
Well, she understands her father's a monster, but she's like, but I do love him and I believe he's a
Well,
good
you
man.
can
And it's like,
love
oh,
them,
honey.
but maybe not like everything they do.
Yeah. I think it's really sweet that she still loves her dad, even though he's, the worst. I don't want to say really bad words, so I'm trying to limit it.
An enemy who kills for pleasure.
Yeah, not good.
That's a lot of clans.
Yeah.
Mm,
How many of these guys with?
I don't think we find out.
don't think they say.
Yeah. That's not happening. Nope. We've got to go
Some
now.
very bad things could happen in the night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Teal'c, for asking the question.
He will partake. Mm.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Disgusting. Thank you, Jack. And thank you, Daniel. Well.
Yeah, this guy's a warlord. He gets what he wants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just like any kingpin.
I love that
gets
all three
what
of
and
them
who he
were like,
wants.
hell no.
Yeah.
They're not touching our, our friend. Oh. I always look at this episode and try to be like, is this like a damsel in distress thing? Is she the damsel? And it's like, she is kind of the damsel, but she's also kind of her own hero at the same time because she's really fighting to save herself.
Yeah,
she's not just sitting
it's
there
both.
crying
for
about
sure.
it,
She is the mission target and at the same time mission participant.
But she
like
kind of
Princess
seems
Leia,
more so just
saves
compared
herself as
to
well a little
Naya, who's very withdrawn and compliant, if you know what I mean. So it's like you almost have to have those two characters up against one another to make Sam appear more brave and I don't know.
Sam's worth like more than 10 women.
She is.
Yeah, see, we go. That's like, I can't bother to do the math. More than 10 women worth. Ugh.
But he wants to conquer her, He's not just willing to just let her go. His ego has been bruised.
Yeah, actually reminds me of a really gross plot point in Outlander that I'm not going to repeat, but yeah. Any Outlander fans will know what I mean. It's kind of gross how people in positions of power, when someone goes against them, when they're like this guy, obviously, and someone goes against them, they want to kind of destroy that power by taking advantage of them in the worst ways possible to kind of feel strong again.
Yeah.
And Sam makes a point of that 20 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, really. She was like, if you want to beat a woman and feel like a man, choose me. And I was like, oof. Yeah, see? There you go. See, the women had freedom a long time ago. Culture changed.
It's not the same culture. Yeah.
But the show makes a really good point. Like, they raised the fact that it's not the same culture, and I think that's really important. I like the show having some self-awareness there. Oh!
That's a bold move.
I just want to say, thank God this guy, firstly, doesn't know how to aim, and secondly, doesn't realize you have to reload it when they make this trade. I'm so happy, because this could have been
just counting on he's just counting on his ego. He'll just want to show it off in front of his tribe and waste all of the bullets.
Damn. Get out of there. Does he fire another one off? I think it does. Yeah. For 4 left. Get out of there. I'm sad we never saw the mission they describe here.
Yes, me too.
It is in a Stargate SG-1 novel.
Which one? I write it down. I want to write it down.
I believe Sacrifice Moon. Let me have a look.
Okay,
here.
Steve, I'm gonna go read that. Let's write that down. Sacrifice Moon. Okay, cool. I want to read that. I'm sure I will love it. Sounds funny.
Yes, first mission through the Stargate. Sacrifice Moon, Julie Fortune, released September 2004.
Fantastic.
I love how
that
someone's
story
filled in the blanks there. That's great.
I've always wanted someone to fill in the blanks there. So
you're welcome.
Thank you. I love
tell
that.
Tell me how it goes.
Love. I will. I'll probably try and read it in the next month. I'll put it on my list.
Good old Teal'c keeping watch.
Was Teal'c watching, or was he Kel Nareeming?
Well, I know. I suspect he was keeping watch.
When does Kel Nareem get introduced? Was that in the episode where he
Season 2,
the Christianity one?
No, it's Machella's episode.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Holiday.
Holiday, yeah.
It was
still a while away.
He was constantly closing his eyes. It's like, oh, he's just getting a little Kel Nareem in.
Damn, this cast is beautiful. They're also good looking.
The cinematography in this episode is really good too.
It is, like, everything's so beautiful.
The show had money in the beginning. You know? Let me take that back. The show had money. So
Yeah.
it's like, David, they had more money later. It's like, oh yeah. Carter's not going to let this go.
Yeah, I love that. She's always there to defend the women. She likes to help the more innocent people, that need someone to look out for the little guy.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting O'Neill's
Cassandra.
taking this perspective. I don't know if he would so much have later, but it's important that someone has this voice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, Jack kind of goes back and forth on this. Some episodes he won't have this opinion, some he will. Like, for example, The Other Side in season 4.
Yep.
He's at odds with
the conversation
Daniel.
has to be had.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
So, and The Other Side, him and Daniel have it, but yeah.
Yeah. I like that there's always somebody, like even me, when I'm having talks with people, I won't necessarily agree with what I'm saying, but I will always be like, hey, there's also this angle.
You're exploring
remember
the facets.
Yeah, you have
This is what sci-fi does.
Woo.
I think this conversation with Sam is bringing to light more of her character that we know sort of later on, because like this is still quite early on where they're still trying to develop who each of these characters are and what they stand for. But I think this little speech of hers in this particular part is sort of more of the Sam that we get to know and love.
I do like that there are episodes where we get Sam kind of having some maternal instincts and having these, womanly episodes. I think that there's this whole thing with equality where she's one of the guys and she's got to be one of the team, but she's still very much a woman, and women are different from men in a lot of different ways. And one of them being women are more maternal. Women have, like at some points they can have greater empathy in certain situations. And Sam's empathy for this girl is so high. Like it's kind of like this is the only thing that matters right now.
I think that there are opportunities where we can embrace and take joy in our differences and use them to full effect, like in this, where she's like, no, I'm going back.
Which I love.
Later
I think
on,
it's a good,
she does the
moment.
same thing with Cassandra. It's the exact
Exactly.
same.
I was going to say,
instinct.
you can.
That's why I'm comparing the two, kind of.
Jed Ted, prime directive moment. Yeah, that's basically what that was.
Yeah.
It's stoning.
God, those are also
Stoning
like
is just
very
messed
small
up.
stones. That's gonna go that would be a slow,
would take
painful
forever.
process.
Oh yeah, it's very biblical.
Yeah.
Stoning may be challenged by another chieftain.
It's kind of messed up that they have to go they have to remember the old laws. They should write these down. Honestly, I want this man to do an audiobook.
They've already established that she's.
They did establish
that.
Oh, love it. When I was a kid, this made me smile so much. I was like, he's gonna get his butt kicked.
Well, she has training. He doesn't.
Was it level 5 or whatever? What did she say?
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna say it now. God, these are some. We should really be writing some of these down for some trivia questions in the future.
He did want to beat the crap out of
some
her,
revision.
so he's gonna get his chance to.
Yeah, I love that. She's just baiting him because he's just such a poopy
Foul
head.
creature.
There we go. I wanted to say really naughty words.
Yeah, she's back in her uniform. She's got her confidence back.
Yeah. That's where I learned the word etc., by the way. I'd never heard it before until I heard Jack say it, and now I use it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I started using it and putting ETC in my sentences when I was writing down English stuff.
Just for the sake of it?
Has anyone looked up her level of training?
I understood what it was. No,
I haven't.
Point.
What
Someone
level did they say it was?
Let's have a look here.
I love that he neglected
I
to say
feel
it was a
like
fight to the
I'm
death.
not. Yeah, I was like, I feel like Jack should have asked about that beforehand.
You should have been more specific, my dude. Because also, like, what level of maiming and damage would actually be acceptable for the win? You know?
Because that's a big ass knife.
Yeah.
Like,
Well. Oh, okay. This is when I was a kid. When she pulls out the knife, when I was a kid, I lost it. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. This is sick.
definitely out.
I used to try and recreate Sam's
outmanned.
roly-polies in my living room after watching this. I hurt my leg a lot on, like, I'd hit the sofa and then the fireplace.
He doesn't seem to have a lot of technique.
No, he doesn't seem like a really good fighter. He seems like a savage. You know? Like, he comes straight in with absolutely no actual precision, or, you know. Maybe he's actually because the thing is, he's a war cheater and a good one. So maybe he's actually a really fantastic fighter, but because she's a woman, he comes in with these brutal, angry, you know, approaches.
Yeah,
because he feels like she's not a good fighter and he can just do it and end her quickly.
But like,
or maybe he's a good example
like,
of those leaders that doesn't do any work.
But Tilk is impressed.
Yeah. I loved that. I always looked at her when I was a kid. I was like, yeah, men. Look how good she is. She's your equal.
How much you guys want to bet this guy died in the night?
Or someone did him in.
Well, look at all of his.
He got beat by a woman.
Yeah. I don't think he'd be allowed to continue.
His reign.
Uncontested. Something tells me there are consequences for things like this.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I just love the whole vibe of this episode. Warm and fuzzies all around. You know, it's all just, you know, like the ending as well. Oh my god, so positive. Look at it. Look how happy they all are.
Well, that's the thing. You know, it's the 90s.
I want the wedding.
Walk away positive.
Yeah. Honestly, why didn't they stay for one day?
Wrapped up in a tiny bow.
I want to see one day of this wedding. Oh, Daniel's about to mess up. Damn it, Daniel.
And daughters.
Can't believe he did that. I'm still upset with him to this day. Ultimate dude move. How dare you? Oh, this made me really happy.
And next week it'll all be back.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Is it going to spread to all of the other 23 tribes?
I don't. They'd need.
I hope they write songs and stories about Sam. Like she becomes like some sort of folk legend.
I'm sure she got herself one song.
Like an episode of the Orville.
Yeah.
Oh, like Kelly.
Yeah, like Kelly.
That's funny.
Oh, okay. I love this ending.
Oh,
again, this is what we're talking about. Where Teal doesn't talk because he doesn't understand.
Oh, what is an Oprah?
Yeah, and then he says, you know, what is an Oprah?
Exactly.
What is an Oprah?
It's a perfect example of them all having their banter and making jokes, and then Teal going, I don't understand this culture yet.
And early on, remember, their mandate was to seek out technology.
And they brought it up twice in this episode. Good job.
Yeah, because they were looking into medicines and healing.
There's a lot of early episodes where it's all about trying to go and seek things like the Nox. You know, they go after that damn invisible bug, and it turns out it's not that.
The Fenry.
The Fenry, yeah.
The Fenry, that's right.
Good old Fenry.
Yeah. What an episode, guys.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
It's hard to talk about because it's like, you know, as a Caucasian British person, I don't have a full understanding of the other cultures, so it's quite a dicey road to go down. And it's hard to talk about.
And it's not just a Mongolian culture. We have to remember it's a transplanted alien Mongolian culture.
Yeah,
it's not designed to be a 1-1 ratio.
We have to cut it some slack, but at the same time, you know, it's like, whoa, you know. A bunch of white Americans did write it for television, so you know.